Welcome back. This morning, we're trying to provide some solid financial advice for people, all walks of life, all stages of life. We discussed middle-aged boomers, and down to some big issues facing millennials and Gen Zers. One of the big issues facing those two generations, buying a home. Take a look at the latest mortgage rates. This week's 30-year fixed rate is right around 7%. It's slightly better for the 15-year fixed rate. And while millennials used to be the largest group of home buyers, well, now they have been knocked off their top spot. In their place now, 43 to 57-year-olds. They make up 24% of all home purchases so far this year. In fact, a survey from Bank of America shows that 67% of millennials, also known as Gen Y, are likely to buy a house in the next 2 years. But a big mortgage isn't the only money crunch Gen Y and Gen Zs are facing. Those with children are also battling high child care costs. A recent survey shows the state of Nebraska has the 10th highest daycare cost in the country. With $63,000 being the median household income, child care costs average over $12,000 every year. That's a nearly 20% bite into a household income. And on top of trying to save for the future, building up savings for a home, paying for child care, comes student loan debt. The safe thing, being ready when those debts come true. And here to talk about budgeting and the other issues facing millennials and the older Gen Z population face is financial advisor Nika Johnson. Nika, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You bet. First off, what's the biggest expense facing younger people?
Well, there's too many expenses to name.
Right.
I would say the biggest one right now is rent. Like, you're either going to pay your own mortgage or you're going to pay somebody else's.
Right.
So the choice is yours. So I'm always advocating for people to become homeowners.
Nice. And do Gen Zs and millennials approach life differently than boomers, you suppose, when it comes to finances?
Yes. I feel like, especially just during COVID, is that a lot of people have been surviving on credit cards lately.
Mm-hmm.
So they're using credit cards more than they should and more than they could pay back. And now you're living in this debt hole over your head, and you're just trying to figure things out, from childcare, keeping up rent, groceries, everything's just expensive. And they're just trying to survive and going from check to check nowadays.
Let's talk a little bit, just backing up. I want to talk about you, just kind of who you are. When you talk about living check to check, and I mean, tell me your story. You started pretty much with nothing.
Yes, I grew up in a single parent home with a repeated cycle of teenage pregnancy at the age of 16. I was able to overcome that. I lead by example. I always tell people that, being born poor isn't a choice, but staying there is. So ultimately, the choice is up to you. So first generation to attend post-secondary education, had a full ride scholarship to the University of Nebraska Lincoln, major in business administration. Mm-hmm. I have been in corporate America for the last 16 plus years. I fired my boss in the middle of pandemic and have not looked back. Became a first-time home buyer, the first of many things, the first generation curse breaker. And I invest into real estate, and I lead by example, teaching other people how to do the same.
Nice. You definitely have the energy for it. Yeah. So, tell me, when you were growing up, though, I mean, it's when you say you're born into poverty, but you don't have to stay in it.
Yes.
I mean, that's easy to say. I mean, any advice for someone who may be trying to get their finances together and just trying to get ahead?
One word: budgeting.
Budgeting. Okay.
Budgeting. It starts with that. It's not about how much money you make, but manage the money you do make. Oftentimes people think if they get a promotion, a new certificate, a job, that's going to change their relationship and solve all their money problems. And the reality is not. As much as your income increases, so does your expenses. So you want to control the money that you do have. I was able to save money making less, and I teach my clients to be able to do the same. So it really starts with budgeting and having that money management mindset. And
really making hard decisions, right?
Yes.
I mean, so this is where you create a budget. You talked about it. I mean,
yes.
Tracking your spending, how do you do that easily?
Easy, pen and paper. I don't believe in all those apps. It's not in our budget. So I'm notorious for asking people in the community, is that in your budget, holding them accountable. Okay. But start budgeting. Make sure you're tracking your expenses. What is your income? What is your expenses? Can we minimize your subscriptions? Netflix, Hulu. Some people cancel cable, but then you pick up all these subscriptions and it adds up to the same amount.
Right.
What about that gym membership that you've been paying for the last year or two and you haven't been using it?
Right.
So really start tracking your expenses. What about if you're overcharged for something? Setting up on auto pay. That would help you save typically about $5 to $10 with your cell phone provider. Asking for discounts, automate your savings. I always tell people, don't go work a 9 to 5 and don't pay yourself first. Okay. What I mean by that is your job is not always promised, but you always want to make for sure that you have at least $1,000 emergency in funds. What about if you have car problems? Things like that. 3 months of your livelihood expenses. And I know it's difficult now, but just save something. I don't care what you save, just save something. But start with that, with managing your finances, planning your meals, packing your lunch, not Starbucks, always going to work late, but just planning and being intentional. And the soonest time was to start was yesterday. And now is to start now. So if you don't know how, it's just pen and paper, track everything. Every dollar should be accounted for.
When people come to you though, because you're talking possibly a change of mindset.
Yes.
I mean, you're telling, because there's people who automatically think, I'm going to buy a coffee in the morning, I'm going to get my nails done, I'm going to get these things, they have to do these things, but they don't see these things as extras.
Yes.
How do you change that mindset?
What is your goals? Do you want to become a homeowner? Do you want a reliable vehicle? When the last time you took a vacation? Can we put that in a budget? As much as you eat out last year, sometimes people don't even realize is that you may eat out more than what you put into savings. So it's just being intentional with it and knowing that just start somewhere. You're going to make mistakes, but it's definitely a mindset shift. But think about, where do you want to be? I'd rather for the millennials and Gen Z to realize that we don't have to struggle all our life. So making those necessary sacrifices, finding ways to eliminate those expenses, stay in a house, not overdrafting your account. For example, I tell people that if you're struggling with, let's say you have rent in the beginning of the month and you have a car note, instead of taking that one check, putting that on there, how about you change your due date for your car note? Or instead of making that one payment, you can make multiple payments, bi-weekly payments, to be able to make for sure it's satisfied in full by the actual due date.
Because a lot of people may not realize there is wiggle room within, they may not think, hey, I can go and say, I can't pay this time, or let me change it. I mean, are you telling them basically just to get guts? I mean, to be their best advocate?
Nobody's going to advocate for you but you. So you have to speak up, and there's so many resources. During COVID, some people didn't even know that you could do a skip payment on your auto loan. You could do skip payment on a loan. They even allow that on mortgages. So I'd rather people be proactive than reactive, because we don't have to, ignore unknown calls. You don't have to avoid checking the mail and, hiding from debt collectors and things like that. But know that there are solutions, but we have to be able to just have that conversations, although it's uncomfortable.
Seems like you're not a person who likes excuses.
No, keep the excuses out the door. No.
Right. And so finally then, what advice would you give someone? What should a Gen Z or a millennial who's just sitting here go, I need to do something, I just want to get on the right track. What would you tell them if they're sitting right in front of you? 3
things that help me overcome poverty. Budget. I control my money so it will not control me. Save. I make for sure that I was saving money. And then also credit. I leverage my credit. So for example, one tip I tell people, now make for sure you pay your bills in time every month. But I put all my expenses on my credit card and I pay it off every month. So I have rewards points. That's how I'm able to travel for free. How much do you think I spend going from here to LA round trip?
No idea. I'll just say zero.
$11.20. I only pay tax.
Oh my, that's nice.
That's all.
Yeah, but the key is though is paying it off every month.
So the same bills that you will pay every month, no matter what, you just put that on a credit card. And then you make for sure that it's some type of credit card that has some type of incentive that you're gonna have rewards points. You could do cash back. I tell people, use your credit card all year, allow your points stack up, and then you could use that for the holidays, for Christmas.
Great advice. Nika, thanks so much.
Thank you.
I love the energy and I love what you're doing, so keep doing it.
Thank you.
You bet. All right, well, being smart with money can start when people are even younger than what we're talking about. We're going to take a look at how Nebraska's youth are learning financial literacy in the classroom and how those skills will carry them through adulthood. That's next on Chronicle. First, what are your thoughts about the state of finances today? Is it harder for people to get ahead, to plan for retirement now than it was in years past? Send us an email. It's news@ketv.com. Love hearing from you. We'll be right back.